Are you familiar with nootropics?
With who?
Neurotropics.
Nope, no idea.
So they're this currently mythical class of chemicals. As far as I know, they're still mythical. That are supposed to improve your cognition, make you smarter, more creative, all of those kinds of things.
Ooh, I am very familiar with this. This started off in the medieval ages, and they called it alchemy.
I suppose, yeah, alchemy is probably besides just turning lead into gold. Yeah, there's probably all kinds of things, fountain of youth type stuff they were looking for.
Yeah, yeah, a bunch of people used to drink mercury.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
So, is it more advanced than the medieval version of alchemy?
As far as I know, the only substances that even have any kind of real scientific based claims to them are a certain kind of mushroom,
Oh, okay.
right?
So you get smarter when you eat the mushroom.
Well, I mean, but there's also, I mean, you've probably heard stories of um, well
Yeah.
known entrepreneurs and thinkers doing like microdosing of LSD and things like that as well.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people that have done different things like that. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely changes your state. In fact, there
Yeah,
was a song from the '60s where they grew this crazy weed in their and on their farm, and at one point, they discovered by an accident that if you smoked the weed, it would give you all these superpowers, I think. And his buddy flew up to the windmill, and he had to fly up there to get him back down, I think was one of the things the song talked about.
well, to put all the fanciful and fictional side of things aside, I actually discovered a way to boost intelligence and creativity, but it doesn't
Really?
work for everyone.
Oh, wow. Because I had a friend who told me about something similar he went through. And before you pronounce this to the world, you might want to rethink in case anyone's listening that shouldn't be hearing this. Because his experience was he was down, I think, in New Mexico, and
Yeah, no, this is not one
he
of those
he bought a button,
ceremonies.
and the button did magical things for him. He didn't. He was like, "Oh, I love buttons," so he bought a button, not knowing what it was. He's thinking like buttons, and the guy's like hands him a button, and the guy says, "Pick the hairs off." What? Okay, picks the hairs off. Now what? Eat it. He ate it, and then he got stuck in a drain pipe, is what he says. He said that he was sitting there, and all of a sudden the drain pipe got big enough that he just magically crawled inside and got stuck. And then it took him a while before he got unstuck from that drain pipe.
Wow, these people, these friends of yours, I'm not sure if I want to meet them or not.
Oh, they have great stories for parties.
I'll bet. So no, anyway, no, I found a legitimate, honest to goodness way to improve cognition and boost creativity, all the things that
And
an
it's not so
entrepreneur
good that
wants.
it's illegal then.
Well, it's really expensive.
Okay. I'll shut up and listen.
It's super expensive. In fact, you've probably heard of it before.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's so few of us that actually are willing to pay the price for it
Hmm.
and not realizing what it costs us not to have it.
Oh, okay.
So if I mean, you're probably right though. I probably should actually not share this on something that's going out to the world because that could become dangerous. I mean, imagine more people got a hold of this system and started implementing it in their lives. I mean, it would change the world.
Wow.
So it could be rather dangerous from the standpoint of its ability to cause change. But without going too much into the suspense, I found there's three things that you do together to get the most benefit. And as I said, it's expensive.
Okay.
But the first one is you go to sleep at a regular time, get enough sleep, and wake up at a regular time. I mean,
Those are the three things.
well, no, that's the first one.
Oh, that's just so sleep is the first one. Proper
Sleep,
sleep. Okay.
proper
Proper
sleep.
sleep. Got it. Yep. Yep.
The second one is regular exercise, like 45 minutes a day where you break a sweat.
Wait. for every 45 every day?
Every
No days
day,
off?
no days off,
You
just enough to break a sweat.
Well, it doesn't take me 45 minutes to break a sweat.
Well, do it
So
for 45
is it
minutes.
breaking the sweat or the 45 minutes?
It's work out for 45 minutes total, during which you're working out hard enough that you break a sweat.
Got it.
It doesn't matter. I mean, so people listen to this, like, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be like, if walking for 45 minutes gonna make you break a sweat, great. If you've got to lift, 500 pounds of weight and haul it around your house 5 times, or go to the gym or whatever to break a sweat, like, it doesn't matter what it is, just whatever.
Got it.
And then the third one is your nutrition.
Okay.
And when you get your nutrition dialed in, when you get consistent exercise, and when you get consistently good sleep, there's something magical that happens. At least it's almost like a magical effect that, like, boosts your creativity, boosts your cognition, boosts your energy, helps you engage with the world more fully. It's a crazy thing, but as I said, it's expensive. Most people aren't willing to pay the price.
Mm-hmm. And so if somebody's caught in the trap of, I have too much that I have to do to be able to pay that price. Like, for example, I know someone recently, I had a similar conversation with them, and they told me that it was too difficult because they've recently had twins.
Mm.
And they're like, there's nothing I can do. Like, it's game over. Like, the babies wake us up. We have to take care of the babies. So what do you say for someone like that?
Well, I would probably say you're in a season of life that doesn't last forever. Haven't had the twins experience before, but I've been through the experience of a newborn on numerous occasions.
Yep.
And it passes. So you just do the best you can during those seasons. And a lot of it depends on your spouse. And what you got to do to help them, and what kind of support they're able to do. Because I know some couples I've heard, one of the spouses will take care of the baby at night, and the other one sleeps in a completely separate room where they're not disturbed.
Wow.
During the first 3 months while they're getting their child to go to sleep. I mean, but there's things you can do. There's a whole bunch of guides and sleep training that you can do to actually make it so that headache is much reduced.
Mm-hmm.
I know a book that my wife and I were given helped tremendously after our first child, when my wife was unwilling to read it and I was busy working. And finally, after like 3 months of banging our heads against a wall trying to figure out how to make this work, she read the book, and like 3 weeks later, we had our baby sleeping through the night.
Oh, wow. Nice.
It was like there's people who have figured things out, and they publish that knowledge, and all you have to do is go get it, and you can save yourself months and months of headache in a lot of situations. I understand there are exceptions, and it's not necessarily going to work for everybody, but it's something that worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked with every child since.
But it is a high price to pay.
It is, yeah.
And so how do you justify that it's worth the price?
The price of going to bed when you've got other things to do.
All three. I mean, you're asking a tall order. In America today, it's not rewarded to necessarily get good nutrition. And it's almost like the entire planet was against us, because the most delicious things are not the nutritious things.
Well, I mean, that's how we're wired. I mean, again, I think I brought this up last week, where I had the idea, it's like, it'd be really awesome to talk to our bodies and say, you don't have to worry about optimizing for energy consumption and storage. In fact, I don't need you to store more than 12% body fat, and I don't need you to worry about building muscle or endurance or flexibility. Like, you can go ahead and dive in all those things. I promise I'll keep you fueled.
Mm-hmm.
But our bodies are wired the opposite. I mean, so the cost is, for me, I think it's not with almost anything, it's not the cost of paying it, it's the cost of not doing it.
But it's not very apparent for people. You know what I mean?
Anybody who's not looking for it, you're absolutely right. Like if you're
Yeah.
not looking to if you're not looking to grow and develop yourself, then the costs of not doing it are often invisible. And so
Right.
sometimes it can help to be um, associate with people who are pushing that direction, because their habits, their ideology will rub off on you.
Hmm.
And that's something that helped me to turn my health around, is getting around a handful of people that also want to um, live more of life, and live more of life with less pain than when you don't do those three basic things. And I've noticed that there's people that are in my circle that's rubbed off on. People who are now, because of my example, have started to take their health more seriously, and be more consistent with their sleep and their exercise and their nutrition. And aside from nootropics, which again, I I'm not sure that there's any actual products that are legitimate on the market, um, legal or otherwise. There are drugs to help with with a number of those other things, um, especially the nutrition side. That at least for men, it's also been shown to help balance out the rest of our body system, and make focus, improve focus, enhance energy, and just get rid of the food noise in GLP-1s. I mean, and there's better versions that are in clinical studies right now, coming out. So I mean, there is a lot of help if it's needful. And for the entrepreneurs that I work with, it's like we want to make the world a better place for our families. We want to serve our customers well. Like there's all those things we
Hmm.
want to do, and if we don't take care of ourselves and recognize how important we are in that process, then when we do recognize that, then we see what the cost of not doing it is on the
Yeah.
impact that we can have.
I will also say in conjunction with this, I was able to sit down with George Visger, who was an NFL football player, and he had what in Jason's terms, not George's terms, Jason's terms, he had a terrible football experience in that there were certain injuries that happened that has caused him, and he's documented all this. He has a book that's out. You should go check it out. It's called Facing Giants. But he talks about his medical journey because he played in the NFL. And at the time that he said the NFL was not friendly to players, they would just try and keep them alive and on the field. But
Hmm.
he's had, I believe it was 9 brain surgeries.
Oh
And
wow.
at one point, I think it was, and I think he documented that it was like 22 different medications, serious medications he was on, and that nobody knew what the pharmacology of those 22 medications together would be doing to him.
Oh wow. So
And
he's a case study.
oh yeah, I mean this guy has spoken, I think, in front of Congress. They named some of the new football rules after him, and very much in that realm. And he said that there are things that definitely help because they have done all kinds of studies on him related to brain function. And he said things similar to what you said. You've got to get the exercise, nutrition, sleep. He also said that the interesting ones was a cryo chamber has definitely shown that there are improvements that can happen, especially after traumatic brain injury, that it can
Mm.
restore and help restore function. So he told me that now every football locker room in the NFL has a cryo chamber. So if someone does get a head injury during the game, they can immediately put them in the machine and let the
Wow.
machine do its work. And those are actual real studies that show that if we act a certain way, we can get a better result. And he also talked about fish oil and creatine, which was interesting. And then shortly after that, I was in an auto accident where I did have a concussion. And the medical doctor said, fish oil and creatine are substances that are proven to help the brain restore itself. So going back to that nutrition side, there's absolutely scientifically proven nutrients and supplements and things that we can take when there are issues that will help buoy us back up to that healthy level again.
Or again, the ideal for somebody who's already there to take them to a whole new level.
Right. Absolutely.
So anyway, that was just something I've been thinking about as I recently got back from doing some medical tourism, and actually met some other people there. And one of the gentlemen that I met, that was another patient at the location, was he was very much into the neurotropics, and
Oh,
so anyway, it was interesting to have the different conversations with all the different patients there, and their different beliefs about
hmm
the medical system and the opportunities for healing and self-improvement, especially focus on the physical side. And nearly everybody there at this location were entrepreneurs. They were business owners, or people who were. I mean, this particular gentleman that I'm referring to, he runs a $40 million a year company.
wow.
I mean, it's so there are things out there, and but I just found the difference between myself, from my own personal experience, when I'm getting good sleep, when I'm eating better, and when I'm exercising regularly, though, I'm able to get more done in less time than when I don't do those things. So it's like so in all reality, there's no time lost from the standpoint of looking at how effective I am in my day. In fact,
Yeah.
there's a lot of time gained,
hmm
is the truth of the matter. And that's why I think not recognizing the cost of treating your personal health with your sleep, nutrition, and exercise habits as critical to your ability to be a successful entrepreneur, to be a successful father, to be the most that you can be in your community, whatever, and fulfill your mission in life, whatever that is for you. Like, we don't recognize the cost of that, and so we ignore it.
My grandpa used to say, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." So,
Yes, I have very much heard that one. And I don't know if I don't know if that's true for everybody. I think for me, I think um, it's more consistency
mm,
and quality that matters. Whether you stay up late and get up late, or whether you go to bed earlier and get up earlier, I don't think that's nearly as relevant
mhm,
as the consistency is.
gotcha.
So it's
That's
about being consistent. For me,
interesting.
it's about being consistent and picking and fixing a schedule that works for you.
Mhm,
So, I still have several young children at home, and for me, the best time to exercise is at 6:30 in the morning while they're still asleep.
right.
Um, so it's a matter of picking what works for each individual, as opposed to trying to force yourself into a particular box. But the principles
Sure.
hold,
Mhm.
regardless of who you are. At least that's my experience for myself and working with other people.
So your proposition then at the juncture of this meeting is, if you take care of those 3 things, you'll become a better business owner and more successful.
Absolutely. I think it's foundational.
Mhm. And can people do that without taking care of those 3 things?
Absolutely, you can be successful without taking care of those three things. I mean, I would, by most measures, I've been very successful in my business career without taking care of those three things. But the impact that I could have had, and the impact that I can have today without those three things, there's no comparison. So yes, and that might be why some people say, well, look at this guy, he's successful and he's not doing any of that. Well, sure, but how much more could he be doing if he was um, taking care of himself better? If he did have
Right.
more energy, if he did have if he did have better sleep, better nutrition, and consistent exercise, what would he have been able to accomplish instead?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not whether or not it's not that these are or they're requirements, but they are very much enhancers.
Got it.
And maybe for some people they are requirements. If they've not had the success they're looking for, it's like, try it for a month. Like dedicate yourself to getting quality sleep for a month, and you can run the experiment. Yes, it's costly. You're going to have to say no to whatever you're doing late at night now. You're going to have to say no to rolling over and hitting the snooze button. But try it for a month. Get blackout blinds, get cooling sheets, get whatever you need to set your sleep space up to where it's actually effective, and see what happens, and do the test yourself. Like, just commit to it for a month. And my guess is anybody, again, so I said it only works for certain people, because if you're already doing these things, then you don't get any benefit out of it.
But what about this whole, like, there's no way to measure it, right? If I heard this and I'm thinking to myself, what's this guy talking about? How do I measure the fact that I'm more productive? Like, I may be working 20 hours a day. It's the mindset they may have, right? That may be what's going on. They're like, I'm working 20 hours a day. I'm getting done 3 times as much as you could ever get done.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I suppose there's probably an exception of somebody that you could point to somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying, if that's what their mindset is, how do we measure that and show them that they're more successful by taking care of these 3 things than by not?
I mean, it would have to be because a lot of these things are subjective. Like how you feel, how much you bring. Objectively, I mean, you could measure your profit, but there's so many other factors that could be affecting it that you can't conclusively say this is the one that made the change.
Because profit isn't the true measure of success. I was talking to a guy out the other day, and he was consulting with someone, and that person was like, man, when I get to 10 million, I'm going to have it made. And he got to 10 million. And he said, oh, man, this wasn't at all like I was thinking. This takes even more of my time. If I get to 20 million, then I know I'm going to be successful. And he started plowing back and working to 20 million. What's the guy thinking? Like, he's just building a bigger cage. He's literally making that cage so much heavier, so much more intense, that if he tries to step away at 20 million, he won't even be able to sleep at night, because there's so many problems he's trying to fix. But all he's doing is measuring his gross revenue and his net revenue. And that's not success.
Right. That is definitely not success from a personal objective standpoint. It is often the measure that's used by the world to measure success. And so that's where, you ask the question, like, is there a subjective way to say conclusively that these things improve your level of success? And I think what maybe you're going somewhere else, but success is something that you have to decide internally that you're already successful. And recognize that it's not an on or off switch. It's a spectrum of how successful are you. And for me, it's relative to how successful I think I could be, as opposed to.
So we're working on a book.
Measuring it something else.
We're working on a book right now, right? It's coming out later this year. And one of the things we talk about is, if you don't have a measuring stick to measure on, you won't know what success is. And I think we're bumping up against that with this idea where someone's saying, well, I work 20 hours a day and I get 3 times as much done as you. But are that stack of 3 times as much, is that things he like, the stack of things he quote had to do because he built the cage for himself? And you're over here saying, my life is so much better. I can think more clearly. I can function more clearly. I can accomplish more. All the things that matter, you can have more of when you do these 3 basics: nutrition, sleep, exercise. And when that doesn't happen, then you're not as successful, because those are the things you value and measure against. But if someone's over here just measuring revenue, they're going to be like, oh, well, that's garbage, unless they can figure out that it directly ties back to revenue. and gives them more revenue. And so in my mind, I'm thinking it's important we clarify this, that if you're not
Measure
chasing
success.
good health, then this will feel like a waste. If you want to end up living in an assisted living facility in your 50s because you burned your body to pieces, but you're rich enough you can pay for it, go for it, dude.
That's your measure of success. Like for me, I'll take one. 6 years ago, I was playing tag with my children, who again, were my oldest was 6 years younger, so not even a teenager, and it, I swear it had to have been like 3 minutes, and I was completely winded.
Oh, wow.
Like not even funny. Like it was pathetic and ridiculous. Yesterday we played frisbee. Now I have children who are much older, much more physically capable, and I didn't have any trouble staying ahead of them and
Wow.
being able to interact with them for like an hour. And so for me, like I can measure that for me, that is one of my measures of success, is like how much interaction, what kinds of things am I able to do? I have the freedom to do with my children. Yes, we have the option. We could sit down and we could play video games together, and I could call that success because we're together. But I have the freedom to choose to you know play ultimate frisbee. I have the freedom to choose to go hiking or camping or dirt biking or to the lake or wherever, because because of my sleep, nutrition, and exercise has empowered me to be able to do those things and write a book and serve customers and do all the things that I'm counting as measures of success. And when I look at my success, now that you push me into it, it's really how quickly am I moving towards my vision of what I want my life to be like. And not that I'm waiting for happiness or anything else until I get there. I can choose to have that now. And in fact, if you don't choose to have that now, you don't ever get there. But how quickly am I moving towards that relative to how quickly I believe I could be moving towards it? And that
Hmm.
that gap there, how tight that gap is for me a key measure of success. But it's across more than just the profit that I'm making. It's the whole quality spectrum of life.
Yeah.
And which again, your vision really needs to take into account, because if you don't have it, then what are you measuring against? Like if you don't know what you're trying to achieve, then any road will get you there, said one of
Oh.
the wisest cats in history.
And I think Bob Proctor used to quote someone, and I don't remember who it was that he quoted, but he'd always say that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And so the worthy ideal is one of those components of your vision for life. And success is the fact that you're progressively moving towards that ideal that sits inside your vision. So if you don't have a vision of accomplishing, if you don't have a vision of feeling good, if you don't have a vision of mental clarity, if you don't have a vision of having the ability to function the way the body was designed, then totally scrap the sleep, scrap the nutrition, scrap the exercise, and go chase what your success is. But basically everyone I've ever met is interested in all of those things, and therefore they should be doing those three building blocks you just said.
I just realized the quote that you shared. That's my definition for joy.
Hmm.
It's not having things. It's not even obtaining things. It's the ability to and movement towards achieving something that I deem as worthwhile.
And what's so interesting to me is that movement towards is commonly described as work. And so the
Yeah,
thing that brings humans the most happiness really is good quality work.
but the difference is between it being work that's drudgery and work that actually motivates us is whether or not we know what we're moving towards.
100%. Yeah.
So if your work feels like drudgery, you might need to rethink your vision and see how what you're doing fits into it, or decide, or find out that what you're doing doesn't fit into your vision of your future at all, and change what you're doing.
Spot on. That's the perfect way to end it. Thanks.